Hey, do you want to win a PS5 with Madden NFL 21 and NBA 2K21? We'll be announcing the winner December 28th, so be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and watch the video all the way until the end to enter the giveaway. Few players in the current NBA landscape inspire more mixed feelings among fans than Russell Westbrook. Whether it's his aggressive on-court persona, his pre-game and post-game outfits, or his rise to superstardom, there are few people with neutral feelings about him. The same can't be said for his colleagues around the NBA who have consistently gone to bat for Westbrook no matter his public shortcomings. While the media and the fans want to believe that there is animosity towards Westbrook from his colleagues, the opposite is probably closer to the truth. So what do NBA players really think about Russell Westbrook? The obvious place to start is with the man who will always be compared with Westbrook well after their careers are over. Kevin Durant and Westbrook formed a power duo in Oklahoma City and combined with James Harden to take the Thunder to the NBA Finals in 2012. Durant and Westbrook led the Thunder to 4 trips to the Western Conference Finals during their time together in Oklahoma City, but that 2012 season was the only time the duo went to the NBA Finals together. After Durant left Oklahoma City to join Golden State and win 2 titles with the Warriors, he and Westbrook did not talk. The silent treatment lasted until All-Star Weekend in 2018 when the two were paired on Team LeBron for the All-Star Game. The two still don't have the warmest relationship, but that didn't stop Durant from praising his former teammate when given the chance in 2019. He appeared on ESPN's First Take while recovering from his ruptured Achilles tendon. In that interview, he laid out the rationale behind how he and Westbrook interacted on the court, and why he wasn't more assertive when dealing with the point guard. Playing with Russell Westbrook, a lot of people say that I should have put him in his place. He's a player that you can't put in his place. He's a big personality. He's a player that you can't tame. So I was going to support him no matter what. I think that's what a lot of people say. I wasn't assertive in putting Russell in his place. But my whole thing was let these guys grow and let them be creative in their own space. Though they never won a title together, it's hard to argue against the results Durant and Westbrook had in Oklahoma City. They went to the playoffs 6 times in the final 7 years of their partnership and won their division 5 times in that stretch. They won 50 games 5 times and had a .712 winning percentage in the lockout-shortened 2011-12 season when the Thunder lost to the LeBron James-led Heat in 5 games. Speaking of James, he's been one of the most vocal supporters of Westbrook over the past few years, especially when controversy surrounded the superstar. After the March 2019 incident with a fan in Utah, LeBron was very quick to defend Westbrook's actions that cost Westbrook $25,000 for directing profanity and threatening language toward a fan. James was very clear that the fans' actions were in the wrong and said Westbrook was being vilified despite what many All-Stars have come to learn about Westbrook. Obviously, Russ is a very passionate guy, but Russ is married with 3 kids, a set of twins. No matter if you like him or love him or the way that he plays the game, the guy is one of the most loyal people that I know. One of the most down-to-earth guys that I know. In the NBA bubble, James and Westbrook went head-to-head in the playoffs for the first time, and it was a matchup that lived up to the hype. Even before the second-round series between the Lakers and Rockets, James was quick to offer praise to Westbrook's no-holds-barred playing style. While it may rub some in the league the wrong way, more on that later, James said it is Westbrook's no-nonsense attitude that made him such a dynamic threat in the league. With Russ, he's just an assassin. He's full throttle and he could care less what anyone thinks about his game. He goes out and plays his way, and he's been successful doing that. James, though, has never been Westbrook's teammate, unlike Paul George, who was traded to Oklahoma City in hopes of challenging the Warriors in the Western Conference. Although the duo couldn't lead the Thunder out of the first round, George excelled with Westbrook as his point guard, setting career highs in points, assists, and rebounds per game in his final season with the Thunder. All athletes find the people who bring out the best in them, and in George's case, Westbrook was that guy. Russ is a winner. Russ wants to win. Russ does whatever it takes to win, George said prior to the first meeting between his Clippers and Westbrook's Rockets in the 2019-20 season. My time playing with him, Russ doesn't really have an ego. He puts his ego to the side. He allowed me to be myself. He allowed me to be comfortable, and I had one of the best career years I had while playing alongside him. Russ is a heck of a teammate. Even when it was clear that the Oklahoma City experiment was over, the two remained cordial amidst the drama. George told Kevin Hart in June 2020 that one of the first phone calls he made as the news of the breakup began to surface was to Westbrook to chat about the news. However, the ending didn't sour those 2 years for George. He said he was always excited to team up with a great player and teammates like Westbrook. I was happy about it though, because the opportunity to play with Russ. Immediately, I was, let's go, I'm hyped about this. I was only there 2 years, but during those 2 years, I loved Russ as a brother. I have so much love for Russ. I mean, I was the first phone call after I had word of what was going on and the possibility of leaving, and I had that call with him. You know, he supported me 100%. We talked it out, and we made the moves necessary to go elsewhere. While it is easy to love Westbrook while you're on his team, it is more difficult to like him when you're facing him on a nightly basis. During the first round series during the Thunder and the Portland Trail Blazers in 2019, much of the roster was asked about Westbrook's antics. Enes Kanter quipped, "It's just how he is. He's just gonna scream and yell and try to get under your skin." Dame and CJ are doing a really good job at staying their coolness. If there is a rivalry between Westbrook and anyone in the league, it is Damian Lillard, who has had many memorable moments with the former league MVP. It really began in 2016 when Westbrook kicked the ball out of Lillard's hands after a bucket, but has only escalated as the two have met in the postseason. Even in the regular season, the tension between the two is obvious, as both were assessed double technicals in January 2020 while mouthing at each other with Westbrook at the free throw line. No matter the venue or situation, there always seems to be some excitement when these two hit the floor against each other. During an infamous playoff series in 2019, CJ McCollum described the rivalry between the pair. They're two pit bulls, man. You've got two competitive guys who play hard, who are well-known all-stars, faces of franchises. The stakes are high. If you're a competitor, you look forward to these moments and these opportunities to not only put your team on the map, but put yourself on the map. Lillard took great exception to some of Westbrook's actions during that 2019 playoff series, notably when Westbrook rocked the baby after splashing a few contested jump shots over Lillard. It led Lillard to wave goodbye to the Thunder when he knocked down the series-clinching shot at the buzzer of Game 5. After the series, he was more free to express his true opinion on Westbrook's on-court actions. I'm not even paying attention to it, but when I do see it, that's cool. He does it every game, so it doesn't bother me. I don't celebrate in someone's face and try to disrespect my opponent. But if a team calls a timeout, I'll go acknowledge the crowd and celebrate with my teammates as I'm going to the bench. I'm not gonna say some wild shh. I think with him, he's pounding his chest and talking shh, and that's what gets him going. That's the difference between us. No one in the NBA knows Westbrook better than James Harden. The two have known each other since they were both 10 years old and have competed with and against each other at almost every level of the game. The two were both draft picks of the Oklahoma City Thunder and were critical parts of the core that led the Thunder to the NBA Finals in 2012. There was a lot of intrigue ahead of the 2019-2020 season about the two reuniting as teammates again 8 years after Harden was traded to Houston in the aftermath of the loss in the finals. There was so much chatter about how two players who love to have the ball in their hands will coexist on the same team. However, that is something that was laughable to Harden before the season in a rare interview with GQ. The questions are usually the same though. How are you and Russ going to fit in? It's like, yo, we'll figure it out. Everything isn't necessarily going to be smooth at first. There are going to be ups and downs, and that's part of an 82-game season. Hopefully by the end of the season, we've caught a rhythm and everybody's on the same page going into the playoffs. That's all you can ask for. For a variety of reasons, the duo didn't work for the Rockets, and now Westbrook is asking for a trade out of Houston. However, in that same GQ interview, Harden was critical of the outside noise for failing to understand the relationship between the two friends. He said the time apart was critical to helping both of them become the players they wanted to be, and that there is a different level of bond between the two that can't be explained. We've formed into the players that we want to be, in terms of superstar status. We had opportunities to be at the top, at the peak. He won an MVP, and I won an MVP, and there were conversations before when me and Chris Paul joined the same team about whether it was going to work. We ended up with the best record in the NBA, and we were a game away from the finals. It's not like me and Russ were just teammates in Oklahoma City for 3 years. We've known each other since we were 10 years old. There's a different kind of relationship and communication that we have, a different type of excitement that we have for each other. We don't really care or pay attention to what other people say or think. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.